right. That's right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Dead on Dave. Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, March 9th, 2015, and it is time for your daily focus, which, of course, if you pay attention to the schedule, you know that it is a Monday Night Raw preview, as well as a weekly roundup in the world of sports. So we're going to get into some NFL talk. We're going to get into the big Monday Night Raw tonight, which I do believe should be a pretty damn good one. But first, let's take care of a little bit of business. First off, thanks everybody for all the support on the awesome video that my daughter and I did in a new series that hopefully we'll be doing more of. The What If Real Life Was More Like Professional Wrestling. I got a really good response from it. My daughter really kicked ass. She was great. I'm very proud of her. She did a very good job. So much fun. I'm glad that a lot of people seem to enjoy it. So more of that will be coming. So look forward to that. Also, there are still a few slots left in the Fantasy Baseball League for Dead on Dave Productions that myself and Jeff Huffman have created. So if you guys want to be involved in the Fantasy Baseball League, the live draft, we will be doing we're doing the live draft anyway, but I mean, we're going to broadcast it live with the help of the great Joe Cronin, who will be helping me out with the live draft stuff, because since I can't go live on this channel because of my internet crap ability here, we will be going live on this channel just with a little bit of help from Joe Cronin. So that'll be really awesome. We're going to do a live draft. Everybody who's in the draft, everyone who's in the league will be drafting, and we'll all be on Skype talking about the picks and everything and goofing on each other. It should be a lot of fun. Shot from the Point did something very similar with the NHL fantasy hockey draft, and it was a riot. I think this should be just as good, if not better. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm hoping you guys will join us. If you want to be involved with the Fantasy Baseball League this year for Dead on Dave Productions, it's very simple. The email option is not working. I've been trying to email people who've been sending me their emails. It's not working. Twitter or Facebook. Twitter's been working perfectly fine. So if you just hit me up with your Twitter, I'll send you the invite, and boom, you can join. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So that'll be really great. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun, gearing up to dominate this year Fantasy Baseball Draft for Dead on Dave Productions. I'm very excited about that. Hope to see you there. Other than that, I hope you checked out Shot from the Point live last night. Tommy C and the gang just blew it up. It was a crazy show. A lot of fun. They went nuts. Joe Cronin made a cameo. A lot of fun. And speaking of Joe Cronin, him and I on his channel, The Joe Cronin Show on YouTube, is back up. And we did our first State of the WWE on that channel in quite a long time. And we had a great show. We went over an hour. A lot of fun. We talked about so many things. We get really in-depth on the WrestleMania 9 and some of the similarities we see between this WrestleMania and that WrestleMania. And what does that mean? We get into a lot of stuff. We talk about Bill DeMott. We talk about Tommy Dreamer and internet piracy. We talk about all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. It was a really good show. We only had like one caller we took, and it was Jaron, who basically gave the absolute worst call in the history of telephones. But that's okay. We love Jaron anyway, even though he mistook our show for Phone a Friend last night. That's all right. We'll forgive you this time, buddy. Other than that, let's go ahead and let's start, shall we? We're going to start in the world of the NFL. There's a lot of stuff. We're going to gloss over a lot of it. We're going to talk about some of the important stuff, and then we're going to get into the Monday Night Raw preview, because that's a way bigger thing. So let's talk about some NFL news, shall we? Dexter McCourty, he re-signs with the Patriots for 5 years, $47 million, the free safety over there. That's a big get for the Patriots to re-sign him. I think keeping that secondary intact is very important, and that's a really good way to do that. It was a good move. $28.5 million guaranteed. Good job by the Patriots keeping him in the house. Big one, wide receiver Jeremy Maclin he is leaving the Philadelphia Eagles to sign with the Chiefs. Now, this is an interesting move for him because he was kind of the lost man, even though he has all kinds of friggin' talent. He was kind of the lost man in Philadelphia. However, he's going to a Kansas City team that did not have a receiver, not one wide receiver with a single touchdown catch in 2014. So, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do over there that's going to change things. Dwayne Bowe is probably going to be out. He's probably going to be a cap casualty. So you're going to have Maclin and not much else. It's a very weird situation, and it's arguable how big of an upgrade Maclin is over Dwayne Bowe. Because when Dwayne Bowe first got Alex Smith, the quarterback for the Chiefs, Dwayne Bowe was considered a premier receiver in this league. And he just disappeared for many reasons possibly. Is Maclin going to do the same thing, or is this a big get for the Chiefs? Tell me what you think down in the comment section below. Speaking of those Eagles, the Eagles did not waste time in going out and replacing LaShawn McCoy. This is an arguable move if it's a good replacement, but it seems like they not only have signed Frank Gore, but they have given him the starting job. Now, Frank Gore's been in the league a long time now. Long time. A lot of tread on those tires. And he's 30 or he's over 30. He might be 31 now. So this is a weird move for me, especially when there's a guy out there in C.J. Spiller who is comparable to LaShawn McCoy as far as skill set. That would seem to be a perfect replacement, but they didn't go that route. They went with an aging Frank Gore. That could be an issue, or it could speak to what Philadelphia is doing overall. The more high-tempo, up-tempo offense, going to rely more on the spread and heavy passing. So maybe they're not going to need a guy to carry the load like LaShawn McCoy did and do the things that he did. I don't know. But they made another move, and they are re-signing Mark Sanchez, which is a good move considering it looks like there's almost no chance that they will not be getting Mariota, the quarterback of Chip Kelly's dreams. They're going to get him. I mean, they already have, reportedly, they already have a deal in place with the Jets, that if Mariota falls to number 6, which most people are expecting him to at least fall to that point, if he does, the trade is basically already set in stone. It's going to happen, and he will be an Eagle. And that means a lot of things. You're going to need a good backup. Nick Foles is not going to be that backup. He's not going to want to stay in that capacity. So watch Nick Foles to be out of there if that happens, probably long before that, because I think this is going to be a very telegraphed move by the Eagles. And so getting Mark Sanchez, who performed pretty well at times last year for them, it's not a terrible thing to do. Familiarity, and he's a veteran who's been through a lot of things in this league and can kind of help just explain things to Mariota as far as what all that hype means and how to deal with it properly. I think it's a good thing to keep him in-house. He could be a good mentor, and he still shows that he could be a serviceable backup in this league. So I like that move. And my phone is speaking to me. Wonderful. Probably the biggest move of the day is Ndamukong Suh has reportedly agreed to a $114 million contract with the Dolphins. The AFC East is going for broke. It seems like they are all saying, you know what? Fuck it. If the Patriots are going to continue to beat our brains in, we're going to go for it. And everybody's adding talent. Everybody's adding payroll. Everyone is adding superstar ability on both sides of the ball, it seems, right now. So it's a very interesting thing that's happening in the AFC East. How big of a factor is Ndamukong Suh going to be for the Dolphins? And with his risk as a volatile player, now granted he's arguably the best defensive lineman in all of football and has been for the last couple of seasons, but he does come with risks. Are those risks worth it for a Dolphins team? Should he just stayed with Detroit? Sometimes it's better to stick with the devil that you know, and that's talking for both Detroit and Suh himself. But that's not going to be the case. He will be a Miami Dolphin, and it should be an interesting move. It's going to shake some stuff up. How is Tom Brady going to like having that monster coming at him 2 games a year? Have fun with that. And how are they going to react? Because him going after Brady the way he went after guys like Cutler and stuff, I don't think it's going to be tolerated the same way because Jay Cutler's hated and Tom Brady's the golden boy. So it's going to be very interesting to see the first time that Sue takes a dirty shot at Brady, how that is going to be received, not only in the local media but on the national media level. It should be very interesting. Other news and moves, cornerback Byron Maxwell, the former cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, signs a $63 million 6-year deal with the Eagles. The Eagles continue to make moves. So many that I didn't even see that they were all Eagles moves. My God. The Eagles are going for it. Chip Kelly has put his stamp on this team, hasn't he? At the very least, Chip Kelly said, this is my team. This is it. We're going for it my way. I kind of like that. Now, I'm not a big Chip Kelly guy, but I got to give him credit for saying, hey, it's going to be my way or the highway. Yeah. Finally, Torrey Smith has said his goodbye to Ravens fans. He's thanking the Ravens and their fans, all but saying, hey, I'm out the door. In fact, that's what he's saying. He's leaving. He's not staying with Baltimore, which I think is pretty much a mistake for him. Here's the thing. Torrey Smith is a speedster. He's a good receiver. He's not a great receiver. He doesn't have exceptional route running ability. He doesn't have exceptional hands. He's got exceptional top-end speed. That's what he has. And in recent history, there's a guy who left a successful offensive scheme and banked on his speed to make him a superstar. His name is Mike Wallace, and he was playing with Pittsburgh. Very successful there. He went to Miami, and it has not worked out. He cashed in. Hey, and that's what Torrey Smith is going to look to do. He's going to look to sign a contract very similar to what Mike Wallace did. Is that going to pan out for him? I have no idea. Is he better than Mike Wallace? I'm not really sure at this point. Torrey Smith has shown some flashes of absolute brilliance, but he's also shown some flashes of the old alligator arms, of those frying pan hands, as we like to call them. So, it's a risk by him and by anybody who takes him on. I find it very interesting that a lot of players who are having great success in systems and with certain players, certain quarterbacks in particular, they're deciding to go to teams where it's almost guaranteed they're not going to have the same success. I'm looking at you, Julius Thomas, breakout tight end superstar for the Denver Broncos. Absolute monster, came out of nowhere. I had him on my fantasy league. Got me a lot of points. He's big. He was a basketball player. Not a top-end blocker. He can just run routes real well and catch the ball and go up above everybody else. That's what he's able to do. Peyton Manning knew how to use his abilities well. Well, he's signing a big money contract to go to Jacksonville, where there is no quarterback. Don't give me this Blake Bortles bullshit, by the way, either, because no, I don't think that's going to work out. I have a feeling. So it's just an interesting thing that yeah, got the sneeze on. Ooh, that one hurt. I repressed it down into my gut. And yes, it's a substantial gut, but it still hurt. So yeah, it's interesting to see that players are doing this more and more often. They're going to lesser teams for more money, and I kind of get it, but it just kind of shows where things are in sports right now. Titles don't mean shit to players anymore. They don't mean a goddamn thing. Look at Shady McCoy. LaShawn McCoy bitched and moaned and complained and was reportedly very unhappy about the trade to Buffalo. Yet he signed a contract extension that made him a very, very rich man. The Ndamukong Suh move doesn't reek of that to me. Yes, he made a lot of money, but I got news for you. He was going to make money wherever he signed. He was going to sign $100+ million anywhere he went. But he signed with a team that had a pretty damn good defense and a borderline great defensive line last year. He's going to add to that, and that defense is going to hunt. All right, let me tell you, that defense is going to hunt because they have some edge rushers there already. They have some edge rushers there. Now they have a presence on the inside that is going to disrupt everything and allow them to get to the quarterback. That defense is going to hunt now. So it's just interesting how some players really have taken this whole I needs to get paid and just ran with it. I don't know how I feel about it, to be completely honest. It's very strange. It's weird. So I think that's all the NFL news and notes that I have. So let's get into why most of you are here. And that, of course, is the Monday Night Raw preview. Big Raw tonight. I think this has all the makings of a classic. Now, I could be very wrong. I could be easily let down. Lord knows the WWE has a tendency to do this in these type of spots. But with 20 days left to WrestleMania, this seems like the night to really put that hook in. You got to set that hook, and then over the next 2 weeks, you got to sink it in. But tonight is got to be that big night. You got to put that hook out there. So I'm expecting big things. So what things can we be looking for? Well, for good or bad, we got Wiz Khalifa performing on Monday Night Raw in his hometown of Pittsburgh. So the crowd should be hot for him, even though Wiz Khalifa kind of sucks. But I don't know. Probably John Cena will get involved because I know that they did a few songs together recently. So maybe we'll get a John Cena rapping segment. Yay! So we got that. I don't know what that's going to be like. It should be interesting. Hopefully he'll just kick off the show. I know that's not going to happen, but I kind of want it to so it can be done with. Hall of Fame induction. We should have another Hall of Fame induction announcement tonight. Who do you think it's going to be? Who's the next Hall of Famer? We got the tag team. We got a woman in there. We got a major headliner, or we think we have the major headliner. But is tonight going to be the Kevin Nash announcement? Is it going to be possibly Larry Zbyszko that we've heard about? There's a couple others that would make a lot of sense. Who do you think, if anybody, will be the latest inductee into the 2015 WWE Hall of Fame? That's what I want to know. What else do we got? We got a lot. The Divas situation. The Divas title situation. Okay, here's the question. What are they going to do for WrestleMania? Is it going to be a tag team match at WrestleMania? Paige and AJ versus the Bellas? God, I hope not. I'm hoping that the situation will be solved in a fatal four-way for the Divas title at WrestleMania. If they do a tag team match between these four women, it is a slap in the face to the entire Give Divas a Chance movement. Yes, it's a movement. It's a slap in the face to it. It's just the WWE saying, we don't fucking care. Screw it. We don't give a shit. Don't bring us that stuff. We're not giving them a main match at Mania. We're going to give them a crappy little tag team match. And they're not going to sell. Look at all the star power. It's a big match. No. The only thing that's going to constitute a win for this Give Divas a Chance movement, the hashtag, is a fatal four-way between these four women, or at least a triple threat. I mean, maybe Brie doesn't need to be in the match for obvious reasons, but a triple threat at the very least. So we'll see if that happens. Intercontinental drama. More intercontinental drama, I'm sure, is going to unfold tonight. It's all but inevitable, really, at this point. We have all these people in this match. I mean, geez. Let's go through who we know is in the match so far. This ladder match for the Intercontinental Belt at WrestleMania. We got Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett. We got Daniel Bryan. Looks like he's definitely in it now. Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, R-Truth. That's 5. I know I'm missing somebody else. Oh, man, I know there was already a 6th. Who was it? Dolph Ziggler, Wade Barrett, Daniel Bryan, Luke Harper, R-Truth, Dean Ambrose. So that's 6. All right, Dean Ambrose, that's the 6th. Stardust now. Goldust made a tweet, and you got to figure, since their feud doesn't seem to be done, Goldust and Stardust, that Goldust will be in it too. So that's 8. And what is going to happen with Sheamus? Is he going to return? Is there going to be another return? That's another thing. We had a return out of AJ last week. Is it Sheamus' turn this week? And if he does, will he be the latest addition to this Intercontinental title ladder match? That's an interesting thing to think about. Do we need more? I think we need to keep it at 6. I don't see the inclusion of Gold and Stardust as a very smart thing. I'd rather have those two have a singles match at WrestleMania with some kind of angle with Dusty Rhodes. But apparently they have scrapped that in favor of just loading up this Intercontinental title match. And I think it's going to end up being 10 guys is what I'm thinking. Sheamus and then one other guy. Probably, if I had to guess, it's a toss-up between whoever decides to take the match, Jericho or Rob Van Dam. Jericho makes a lot of sense because he was working TV events, or I'm sorry, non-televised events. He was working house shows up until very recently, and I think he's still doing some every now and then when he's not working with Fozzy. So that it's very possible that he will be the 10th guy, and it makes a lot of sense. Either one of them in that match makes sense because 9 doesn't seem to work, but as far as just numbers, maybe that's because I'm OCD, but 10 makes more sense, and that seems to be what WWE is going for, is to load this up, and why not load it up with one more big star, either Rob Van Dam or Y2J. So I think either one of those would make a lot of sense. Another thing to talk about, Triple H. What is his story going to be tonight? He seems to be going on a power trip. He seems to be majorly going off on tangents, talking about how he needs to re-exert his power as the COO. He needs to let everybody know that he is the man. That's why he got rid of Booker T. Just kidding. Last week. And it's probably why he'll go on more tangents and tirades tonight. Is it going to affect the Authority? What is the situation with the Authority right now? With Seth Rollins and Randy Orton seem to be almost fracturing at any second. Big Show and Kane going into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. How is that going to work? Stephanie on the warpath with John Cena. Where does this lead Triple H, and what is he going to be planning to do to continue his march towards WrestleMania and his date with Sting? Does Sting get involved tonight? Is that a possibility? Does Triple H go too far and maybe punish another former WCW superstar and Sting gets involved? Is that possible? That would be interesting. I think he should have beat up Booker T. I think he should have had a match with Booker T. And I think that's still a possibility, too, by the way, is those two having some type of a match. Because Triple H could probably use a tune-up before WrestleMania. So why not have it with one of the greatest WCW champions, and that would be Booker T. So that makes a lot of sense. Or how about just another star from WCW? Have him beat up a couple jabronis. Have him beat up a couple jobbers from WCW days. Just, have some fun with it. Why not? That would be interesting. Let's bring back Glacier. Yeah, bring back Glacier and have Triple H just decimate him. That'd be great. And then, maybe have Sting come out and fix the situation. That'd be fun. But I like what they're doing with Triple H. I love it. I love everything that he's saying. I love the story. I love it. He's on fire right now. And people can talk shit about him all he wants. I'm a Triple H guy. He's kicking ass. Axelmania. What's next for Axelmania? There's all these rumors going around which don't make sense with Curtis Axel actually winning the United States Championship tonight. I don't think that's a possibility of actually happening because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But at the same time, it makes perfect sense. So it's very strange. Just so many things would have to change for him to win the title. For one, the match isn't even scheduled yet. Rusev hasn't even accepted just a regular singles match with Curtis Axel, let alone a championship match. Does Axel break Rusev's undefeated streak? Does Cena even allow any of that to happen? Does Cena just thrust himself into it? And do we now have a 3-way at WrestleMania with Axelmania, John Cena, and Rusev? And does this ultimately lead to Hulk Hogan getting involved? There's all kinds of possibilities here of what they can do. It's very interesting and silly and weird. Who knows? But more than likely, if I had to guess, I think Curtis Axel could pick up a victory on Rusev tonight, probably by disqualification or count out. Cena will be involved. There's no question. And maybe even there is an outside chance of them deciding Rusev being undefeated does not matter. Him being the United States champion, at least for a night, does not matter. And you take the belt off, you give Curtis Axel the major rub, and then you take the belt right off of him on SmackDown, and Rusev still goes into WrestleMania as champion. That's very possible. But the important thing is seeing more Axel. I love Curtis Axel. I want to see him. I love Axelmania. I'm glad that he seems to be doing something. I hope it's not just smoke and mirrors. It's very possible that it is, though. Very possible that it is, and he could be going away right after WrestleMania. We'll see. Bray Wyatt, it looks like he's going to be seriously stepping up the game tonight in his search for The Undertaker, his quest to bring The Undertaker to the surface. It looks like tonight is going to be taking that a notch further because it appears he has The Undertaker's sacred urn, which contains the power, the essence of The Undertaker. So it's very possible that we are going to get a response of some way, shape, or form from The Undertaker, whether it be a video vignette. Maybe, I still don't think we're going to see The Undertaker physically until WrestleMania, but there is a possibility of it happening, and tonight makes a lot of sense. They want a big show tonight, and it's a very, very, very good possibility that we see him. I'm banking that we don't. I'm banking that they're going to keep him off television until WrestleMania, at least physically. He might be there in some other form, like I said, a vignette or a promo, a via satellite type thing. I have no idea how they're going to want to do it, but expect some supernatural, creepy craziness tonight out of Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. What is Undertaker going to do, or what is Bray Wyatt going to do with the urn? Is he going to fuck it? Is he going to fuck the urn? Now that's must-see TV. Love to see that. A kind of a side thing of what to look for is the further issues between Miz and Mizdow. I wish they would not wait until WrestleMania. Just pop this thing now. Pop it now. I'm done with it. Let's just do it now. Let's get Sandow out of this situation. He's over. He's not going to get any more over. Having Miz scream the same thing in his face every time that Mizdow gets into his face is not changing anything. It's time to pull the trigger. Pull the fucking trigger. Let's do it now. I'm tired of this. And finally, of course, Roman Reigns and his build to WrestleMania. Reigns is getting more cocky and confident every week. He was very confident on SmackDown. I'm sure he will continue to be just as confident tonight on Raw. But the Beast incarnate is scheduled to be there tonight. Of course, off of recent history, we know that schedule doesn't mean a damn thing. Tonight, whether or not Brock Lesnar appears is going to tell us a lot of things because he is supposed to be there. He's booked to be there. He's scheduled to be there. He's paid to be there. So we will see exactly how fractured this relationship is tonight. If Brock Lesnar shows up and they do something crazy, maybe even something as insane as having Seth Rollins cash in, which, look, as crazy as that sounds, it would not be an unprecedented move for the WWE to say, you know what, this guy is a complete problem, and maybe they come to some kind of a situation or an agreement where, you know what, buy out the rest of my dates, whatever, I won't perform at WrestleMania. Hopefully you guys have a thing, but I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to work here. You guys were having issues. I doubt that. That's an extreme scenario. But we're going to find out one way or the other whether it is something like that extreme angle with him actually getting the belt taken off of him because of this, or if it's just not him showing up. Him not showing up, I should say. That's a possibility too. If he does, let's see how interested Brock looks because this is going to determine a lot. Brock Lesnar is not above sandbagging a WrestleMania main event. He did it with Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg and him sandbagged that match, and they got booed out of the fucking building because of it. And if Brock Lesnar does the same thing with Roman Reigns and sandbags him, it would be wrong not just for Brock Lesnar, not just an injustice to Roman Reigns, who's having a hard enough time getting over as it is anyway, but it would be an injustice to the WWE, who has given him everything he's wanted over this last year. Absolutely everything. They gave him the Undertaker streak. They gave him the biggest beatdown of John Cena in the history of John Cena's life. They've given everything. They pushed him to the moon for this reason. Everything they've done over the past year is to put somebody else over at WrestleMania. We all knew that was the plan, and now it's time to deliver. And if there are problems going on in negotiations for a possible new contract, that is not cool. It's just not. It's a bad situation. We'll see what happens. Probably nothing is going to happen. Brock Lesnar will be there, and he'll get physical with Roman Reigns, possibly. Who knows? I don't see him I don't see him no-showing again. I don't see them really making any reference to it outside of what Paul Heyman's already said. Where does Paul Heyman's role come in this? Do they do a swerve completely? Is this the opportunity, with all the things that Paul Heyman has said about his kind of man crush, his bromance that he has with Roman Reigns, do they do the unthinkable and have Paul Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar to side with Roman Reigns, thus turning him heel? That's a possibility. And I think, look, it's a very good possibility that something like that happens. I'm just thinking because when Brock goes, Brock is a tweener at best. He's not a full-blown heel. He gets a lot of cheers. He's a very beloved figure. They are going to really need a heel champion. I know they've had a lot of heel champions recently, and I get that. But they're going to need a heel champion at least for a little while so they can elevate a new top face, whoever it's going to be. Now I know it's supposed to be Roman Reigns. That's the point. But even if he wins this match and there is no swerve and Heyman doesn't join him and he doesn't go heel, which I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying I think something like this should happen. And here's my reasons as to why. Who's going to take on Brock Lesnar next? Are we going to see Daniel Bryan? Is it going to be Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins is not a long-term plan to be a heel anyway. Is it a Randy Orton situation? What are they going to do? Is it going to be Rusev or Bray Wyatt? Are those two possibilities? Are they ready for the main event spotlight? I'm not so sure they are. They're going to need an established star. So to have him as a heel champion, that would help. Roman Reigns I'm talking about. To have Roman Reigns as a heel champion would help elevate a new top babyface to the company, because maybe it's time to start thinking that Roman Reigns is not going to be that guy. But I've always contested that was never the plan anyway, because you can call John Cena a babyface. He's not a babyface. He's a tween. Well, he's not even a tweener. He's not a bad guy, but he's not loved like. He's not an Austin, who you can call a tweener, but he wasn't. He's not a Rock, who you can, when he was a face, he obviously wasn't a tweener either. It's very interesting to see what they're going to do, because Cena, no matter what else, he was able to do what the top face in the company is supposed to do, and that's sell merch. Roman Reigns is probably not going to be able to do that. So who is going to be the guy? Dean Ambrose makes a lot of sense, who's a top-flight merchandise seller. Daniel Bryan would be able to go against him, but these are situations that if Roman Reigns were a heel. So maybe it's time to start rethinking things. I'm just speaking completely in hypotheticals here, because I'm trying to make sense of the situation of where I see the next. I'm thinking beyond WrestleMania at this point. I'm thinking of the next 6 months of what is going to be the build to SummerSlam, because that's where we're going. So it's just a very interesting thing to think about, so I thought that'd be fun to get into. But that is the preview for Raw tonight. Are you excited about Raw? Do you want to see all kinds of craziness? What do you think is going to happen? What's your predictions for tonight's Raw? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out your Dead on Dave merchandise over on deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Make sure you check us out over on SoundCloud. We're on SoundCloud now. Twitter at deadondavev. Tweet me and follow me on Twitter. Do all kinds of cool stuff on there every now and then. I'll be putting more Tweeties out. Facebook.com/ This Guy's Take on It. Make sure you check me out there. That's my Dead on Dave Productions Facebook page. The more likes I get there, the more probable it is that I'm going to start putting extra content on that medium as well. So make sure you're checking all that stuff out and let me know what you guys are thinking. Keep an eye out and a Skype open for 5 questions because we're probably doing one tonight sometime in the next few hours. It's probably already been recorded by the time you're hearing this, to be honest, because I'm looking for somebody. Looking for somebody out there. I'm going to open up my Skype in a second, and I'm going to find somebody to have on. So make sure you're checking out everything the site has to offer and all of the people within the community. Joe Cronin, Tommy C., Tommy NC 2010, Dave Rose, Graham Hall, Jeff Huffman. Make sure you're checking out everybody because we work so hard. And we love you guys. So thanks a lot. We will see you next time. I'm Dead on Dave. This is Dead on Dave Productions. This was your Daily Focus. Peace.